this one. Stallions Bo Scarborough, unbothered by a defender. He rumbles towards the end zone for the first ever USFL Championship touchdown.
Bo Scarborough had a big night last night. 13 carries for $135, had another 70-yard run. Skip, I thought he would have more success in the NFL. A draftee by your Cowboys. For whatever reason, he might get another opportunity.
Derrick Henry-esque last night,
yes.
And then they went away from him, and it made the game a little closer. I thought he could have dominated. I thought he could have had 250.
I thought so, too.
We'll see if we see some of these names resurface in the NFL, guys. I wouldn't be shocked. All right, take a look at Philadelphia Stars QB, Case Cookus, scrambling around before finding his guy, Jordan Sewell, for 6.
He played really well last night. 3 touchdowns, Skip. Unfortunately, he suffered a broken leg in the fourth quarter. He might have got a call to be a camp body or something like that. But he was playing really, really well before he suffered this bad injury.
The more we watched, the more I liked him. He's had several stops in the NFL. I think he's going to get another shot because he can move around before he throws.
We've mentioned him a lot this year in the highlight package, Skip.
Absolutely.
You have called his name often, that's for sure. All right, the Birmingham Stallions quarterback had a good night, too. Alex Magoo finding Victor Bolden Jr. with the nice back shoulder touchdown throw. Bolden Jr. goes on to be named the game's MVP.
That was a great throw, great catch, back shoulder, kind of a lot of the Rams, but to the other side, Cooper Kupp against Eli Apple.
Yep.
Big-time throw, big-time catch with the money on the line, hit the gritty at the end, and he was the MVP.
And Magoo was in for Jamar Smith, who had cramps or something wrong. He was on the bicycle the second half, a la Jay Cutler, right? And all of a sudden, Bolden emerges as the man. And he was once a draft pick, a 7th rounder, like somebody across the table from me. And I think he lit up this. He was all USFL. I think he will get another shot. In the
I think so, too. Some of these guys, I mean, it's going to be a lot of wear and tear on your body, Skip, but you know what? For another crack at the NFL, you suck it up.
Absolutely. You're a mutter in that situation. All right, guys, take a look at this one. The first ever USFL Championship secured right here. Birmingham Stallions linebacker Scooby Wright. He iced the game with a pick 6.
Skip, we know about Scooby Wright from the University of Arizona. He had an outstanding career.
All-American.
Everything coming out. And we just knew that he was going to parlay that. Maybe he'd be Teddy Bruschi, who was from his school.
Good analogy. I
agree. And I was like, but hey, he made the play, saved the game, and that was an outstanding performance last night by Scooby.
So I always liked KJ Costello when he was at Stanford, and then he wound up at Mississippi State, and he once threw for 623 yards against LSU when he was at Mississippi State.
Right.
And yet he got thrown into the fire because of the broken leg you mentioned, the Case Cookus.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden he's not ready, and the ball kind of slips, and I don't know what he was thinking. He came back and made some good throws later in the game.
Right.
But that one got way away, and that was the ball game.
Yep. In 2014, he won the Big Nerd Award. Scooby Wright did as the nation's best college player.
Yeah. It ended up being a really fun game to watch, and it was a great year for the USFL.
See you again next year, guys.
Indeed, it was. Kudos to everybody behind the scenes as well, including my broadcast partner, Daryl Johnson. All right, to the NFL, guys. We're in July, but Baker Mayfield remains on the Browns roster. RG3 said on the Rich Eisen show, quote, the Browns should offer the olive branch to Baker. Ask him to stay if Deshaun Watson gets suspended for a significant amount of time. Mike Florio listing 11 teams, including the Browns, that should consider Baker Mayfield as a viable option at quarterback. Man, this is so messy. Shannon, can you see Baker playing for the Browns this season in any scenario?
Hell no. Skip, I don't know if olives grow on trees or vines, but whatever it is, Baker going to cut it down. But I don't think Baker wants any parts of the Browns because he feels they publicly humiliated him. They've embarrassed him about how they handled the situation, Skip. They could have told Baker, and you know, they said, well, we're going to tell Baker. Well, no, you can't tell him. After you're going down there to meet Deshaun Watson or the moment of, do that a couple of days. You know, okay, you've already set it up with a Deshaun Watson representative. Now is the time before it starts to snow, because Skip, it's going to get out. Baker doesn't need to hear it from the media. He needed to hear it from, who is it, Barry? I think that's who's in charge. I don't know who's in charge now, Skip. But he needs to hear it from you.
Yep.
And not Mary Kay Cabot. And not these reporters from Cleveland or these national reporters
that came out of the Texans,
Yeah.
From the Houston media because Deshaun's team was leaking it. Go ahead.
So that's why you go ahead and tell him and get in front of it.
Yeah.
And then all the other things, we want an adult. Skip, I mean, did they not think Baker heard that? Did they not think Baker read that? I don't think Baker wants any parts of this. He doesn't want to do anything that would help the Cleveland Browns because he can't help himself, Skip, because guess why? I'm going to get $19 million no matter what y'all do. Y'all can trade me, y'all can cut me, but I'm going to pocket $19 million this year. So I don't see a situation where Baker is back. Now, we don't know how the length of time. I mean, you hear varying stories that the NFL didn't provide the judge with any more corroborating evidence that Deshaun Watson did this and that. So what we thought might be a year might be 6 games, might be 8 games, might be 10. So there's a chance that Deshaun Watson might not be gone for the entirety of the season. I don't think Baker wants any parts of it. I know, as a matter of fact, I know he doesn't want any parts of it. He wants to do Cleveland no favors. Baker says no deal.
And once again, I was ahead of this curve because I've told you again and again, sitting in this chair way ahead of us going on vacation last week, that I believe the best alternative right here, right now, for both parties involved, the most beneficial partnership would be for Baker to play one more year for the Cleveland Browns, because it has come clear to me that I'm pretty sure Deshaun is not going to be allowed to play next year. I'm
not so sure anymore, Skip. I was thinking I was on your side, thinking it was going to be a year. I'm not so sure anymore. Now,
okay, I need to know that first. That's going to be the first piece to this puzzle, the first domino to fall.
Right.
Is Deshaun gone for only 8 games or 12 games or 17 games? I need to know that. But if it is all 17, which I think it has a chance of.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. If it's all 17, then what better situation for Baker to reprove himself, because clearly tore his labrum and fractured his shoulder in game 2 last year, and he was horrible. I'm the first to say, and you said he shouldn't have played at all.
No, he should not have.
But he put the bad tape out there. He's got to live with the bad tape. He's got to live with what he didn't do last year. So why would you wind up with Carolina? They're going to be the worst team in the league. Mike Sando and the Athletic said this is the worst place for Baker because it's a disaster waiting to happen. The plug's going to get pulled on the whole franchise by the owner. Baker doesn't want to get caught in the middle of that.
What about Seattle? They got 2 nice receivers,
right,
nice little running game.
Okay, but who's better right now? Let's just do on paper. Seattle or Cleveland? Well, clearly Cleveland's better. So why wouldn't it benefit Baker? And again, Mike Florio says that the only way to mend fences would be for the Browns to offer him more money.
Thank you.
And an unimpeded path to the open market in 2023. Right. So if they sweetened his pot a little bit up off the 19, gave him, I don't know, $5 million more. I don't know what their cap situation is exactly, but they're not paying Deshaun in the first year because they knew he might not be there in the first year,
Correct.
right?
Yes.
So they were protecting him from losing salary.
Right.
They're paying him very little salary compared to the 230 that he's going to get totally guaranteed. So the point is, if you